Hello and welcome back to more Katawa Shoujo. This game just keeps going and going and going, and I don't think we're ever going to get to the end. But we'll give it a go. Starting in the classroom. And I'm probably going to moan and complain about not fitting in or Hanako or something like that, but that's just what I do. Since talking to Lily yesterday, I've wanted to try and move on from the listlessness I've felt ever since coming to Yamaku. Nailed it. But even if I try to concentrate on the book in front of me, Hanako's empty seat at the back of the classroom looms larger than life. Every time I start getting focused, my eyes flick over to her desk again, and my mind starts spinning. Hey, Mickey! Hey, girl, I like Mickey. I wish she was one of our dateables, but I don't think she is. Once more, my eyes drift over to it, but this time, my vision is blocked by a certain other classmate. Oh, hey, Mickey. Maybe you should just have lunch. I can hear your stomach growling from my desk. I let my head drop in disappointment. She seems to take some amusement from my reaction and hops up onto my desk. Her grin as she sits on it reminds me of the Cheshire Cat. Say she's cool. So, what you working on? Some math. I have a decent handle on it. Not blowing my own horn or anything. I just wanted to revise. Oh, really? Let me see that. Before I can object, she grabs my maths book with her hand, her left arm sitting uselessly on her lap. She should get one of those hooks or something. I don't know, if I only had one arm, I would definitely want a hook. In my time here at Yamaku, I've noticed that the other students have a wide range of adjustment to their disabilities on a purely practical level. Mickey is one of those who seem to have some trouble. I think hers is fairly recent. I think we figured that out last time. I feel a little bad for thinking this way, but I'm thankful that Hanako and I don't have disabilities affecting our freedom of movement to that extent. Hanako kind of does. And actually, so do you, kind of. Then again, if Mickey's problems worsened, at least she wouldn't have a real possibility of dying. Touché. My attention is refocused as she thumbs through a few pages, skimming their contents. With such casual interest in the subject matter, it's clear by now that she won't be any help. I'm guessing you're not too interested in this stuff? Screw math. It's boring as hell. She puts the book back in front of me with indifference. Why is she here then? I feel like an intervention's coming on. Wait, you're actually able to work that stuff out? Yeah. Wow. I've never talked to a computer with legs before. Thanks, I think. At least, I'm doing better than in history. Think it's worth asking that librarian for help? I heard she's shooting for uni. YUUKO? Maybe. I don't know what she wants to study, though. So what about you? Got anything you're thinking of doing after you graduate? Me? No, not really. Just enjoying it while it lasts. Happy-go-lucky, we like it. The conversation petters out, and I lean back in my chair, giving up on the prospect of studying. Mickey notices my tired expression and looks oddly serious. Thinking about Hanako. Is that obvious? You've been glancing at her seat, and you've been pretty quiet. Not too hard to connect the dots. I'm just worried about her. Yeah, I can see why you would be. She can get weird sometimes. She sounds put off, but I can't blame her. I mean no offense. She isn't a bad person. I know that much. I know, I didn't take it that way. It's just harder to deal with when, well, you know, you have feelings for someone. Yeah, I can imagine that. It's hard to forget something like what happened to her during class, too. I wish she hadn't reminded me of that. She just confirmed that it was clearly noticed by others in the room as well. You already knew that, Hiseo. Come on, don't get that down. She's done this before, and you've just gotta, I don't know, wait it out. She locks herself in her room and acts like an empty husk of a person for a sizable amount of time, ever since she entered Yamaku, if not before then as well. And I'm not supposed to be concerned about that? Well, I might think that, but there's nothing I can do. I can't force her to come out, and she does see a therapist, so it's not like she isn't getting any help for her issues. Maybe it's natural to think that way when you're so powerless to help someone. That's just the way she is, and you just have to deal with it. Kinda, yeah. If you like her, you like all of her. As I mull things over, I notice a movement out of the corner of my eye. I glance to see who it is, and end up doing a double take. Oh, I was not expecting her. I thought it was going to be Mish. Sure enough, it's Hanako. She walks through the door just as she would any normal school day and begins to move towards her seat in her usual silent and humble manner. Maybe she's getting personal tutoring. She looks at me for a moment before blushing and looking away in embarrassment, which makes me realize that I was staring at her. I feel sorry for that, but not doing it's hard after all that's happened. The girl sitting on my desk looks to me, grinning. See, your sweetheart's back already. What did I tell you? You be quiet. It might only be meant as a joke, but she hits close enough to make me quite uncomfortable. As we talk, someone calls Mickey's name from the door. She jumps down from her vantage point on my desk before turning to me. Gotta go, Hiseo. Remember to eat sometime, will you? Fine, I will. See you. She gives a casual salute before jogging over to the door, where a male student in gym uniform is waiting for her, probably someone from the track and field club. Seizing the opportunity, I get up and make my way to Hanako's desk. Please don't yell at us, please don't yell at us, please don't yell at us. Hello. Hi, Hanako. What's up? Nothing. Maybe talking to her this soon after she came back to class was a bad move. Wanna come and grab something from the cafeteria? I'm pretty hungry. But I thought you were studying. Studying can wait. Turning up for class after all this time must have taken some courage for Hanako, so the least I can do is stay with her. After being distracted by Mickey, I don't think I'm gonna get any work done. Come on, let's go. That's selfish. She's got a lot of work to catch up on. She hesitates, but eventually gets up and joins me as we begin walking. These may be small steps for her, but the fact that she's finally out of her room of her own volition lifts a large weight off my shoulders. Oh, let's keep it going. I want to get to the end of this. Oh, we're back at the Shanghai. My pen busily scrawls onto a slowly filling page of my notebook. My other hand remains on the page of a reference book I borrowed from the library, marking my spot as my eyes flicker to and fro. Wanting a change of scenery from the library and to avoid the distractions of the classroom, I decided to make use of the Shanghai for some quiet study time. Excellent idea. That sounds awesome. It ended up being nice and quiet, as expected, and being able to get coffee while I study is a nice bonus. Hanako may have returned to her normal self since she came out of her room. Okay, so it's a couple of days later. But I've done quite the opposite. Daily routine may have returned to us, but I feel as if I'm a different person. Really? You seem the same to me. Maybe not. It's only been a few days, after all, since I decided I wanted to try and get out of the rut I'd found myself in after my accident. But I want to change, and I'm now actively working towards that goal. Good on you, Hiseo. Nice job. It's only taken probably like months and months and months, but that's fine. Or at least, I'd like to think I am. This is impossible. Brute forcing this isn't going to work. Who are you talking to, mate? What's more, I have another piece of writing I have to do after this. I feel that's not going to be any easier. I look up in mild surprise to the source of the tentative voice. YUUKO stands at the head of the table with a damp towel in hand, clearly having taken the opportunity to clean the tables while no other patrons were around. She looks curious, her eyes as much on work as on me. What's the matter? I was just wondering, what sort of work are you having so much trouble with? Oh, it's just history. I'm fine with science and maths, so I'm trying to get my other subjects up to par. YUUKO looks positively delighted at this development. I feel like I just chose the right answer on some big quiz show. I think I can help you with that. If you don't mind, of course. Well, that's lucky that she just happens to be studying history for a uni major, was it? I briefly considered turning down the offer in order to not cause her too much trouble, but she looks too excited about this for me to do it. It would be mean to shoot her down like that after such a reaction. Well, if you're willing to help, I'd really appreciate it. She claps her hands together and quickly deposits her towel on the counter before turning and taking a seat across from me. Is YUUKO a dateable? Is she? Not this far in the game, I'm assuming. I take my notebook off the top of the textbook and hand it over for her to peruse. Oh, you're studying the Edo periods. We've just done that in history too. Good times. Relatable. Yeah, I'm not really much good at this though. I don't feel like anyone's ever good at history. You just have to read a lot, and then you know history. She takes the textbook and reads a few pages from a random section near the middle for a bit, but the aura of enthusiasm she'd been radiating previously is rapidly sapping away. Regret. I'm guessing this isn't the kind of history you were expecting. Unfortunately not. My main area is European history, especially in the classical era. Sorry. She looks a bit downcast, but as she carefully closes the book and lays it back down on the table, her face perks up again. Would you like another cup of coffee? Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. Fat lot of good she was. I can feel myself beginning to nod off when the sound of the mug coming to rest on the table grabs my attention. Seems like it arrived not a moment too soon. YUUKO takes her previous seat once again as I pick myself up and bring a hand around the mug to check its temperature. It's just a little too hot to drink right away, so I blow on it a little. You know, it's a shame you don't like history all that much. I sort of guessed you might be more into science. How so? You've nearly read out the science fiction section of the library already. It wasn't hard to notice. Science fiction and science are slightly different things, but alright, we'll roll with it. You do have a not so great point there, but what can I say? You've pegged me just about right. You sound like you take an interest in history, though, especially considering how specific you were about it. Do you study in that area or something? Go on digs overseas? She giggles nervously at the thought. I'd like to visit the Mediterranean sometime and see the old architecture and art for myself, but I don't think I could trust myself to handle such delicate things. Fair enough. I'm saving up to formally study at university, though. I also read up on it whenever I have free time outside of work. So, Mickey was right about her university aspirations. Considering how she fears as a waitress, a more theoretical path may suit YUUKO better. It's nice to hear that she has some ambitions, though, considering how hard she works. Yeah, true that. I nod and take a careful sip of my coffee. By now it's cooled to the right temperature, so I begin to drink while keeping an eye on the book below, trying to read at the same time. A few minutes pass quietly, YUUKO looking out the window and watching the world go by, while I have my coffee and study. A movement catches my eye, and I look up to see YUUKO smiling and waving to someone outside. Following her gaze surprisingly reveals the someone to be Hanako. Does she walk down here all by herself? What a brave girl. She is looking at us from the side of the street across from where we are. Evidently, she decides to join us. After a little wave, she gives a quick glance up and down the street and crosses towards the side that the cafe is on. Hey girl! Whoa, YUUKO's really short. Or is she sitting down? The familiar doorbell to the Shanghai rings out as Hanako enters and makes her way to the table we're sitting at. Oh yeah, she must be sitting down. Hello. Good afternoon. Hi Hanako, what's up? Nothing. Just going for a walk since the weather was nice. Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm glad I decided to study here instead of the library. It's nice. It's just a shame that summer can't last forever. Oh wait, sorry, would you like a drink? Hanako shakes her head. Thankfully, it's enough to calm YUUKO back down. How are you going with the study? Okay. Ish. Oh yeah, have you talked with Lily? I'm interested too. How is she doing? She's enjoying it, I think. Yeah, really enjoying that dying aunt. I think that's all we're gonna get out of her. Being around YUUKO is tensing her up. Ah, it would be so nice to travel to Scotland. Green fields, castles, lovely small towns, men in kilts, interesting history. I love Scotland, it was beautiful. I can't say I see the appeal of men in kilts myself. There weren't any. I was in Scotland for about a week and I didn't see a single man in a single kilt. It does seem like a picturesque place though. Whoa, what's up? As we talk, the jingle of the doorbell rings again. Hanako is startled, noticing YUUKO's panicked expression at the prospect that she might leave customers to wait a handful of seconds due to her chatter with us. So yeah, YUUKO gives a quick bow, then hastily skitters over and greets the new customers. Hanako is staring at me with her one visible eye. She averts her head in embarrassment as I turn to make eye contact. I was just thinking, it's nice to have ambitions for the future. Yes, Hisayo, yes it is. YUUKO was telling me a little about her university aspirations before. Oh, it's a shame. If she wasn't so neurotic and overworked, I think she could be a really happy person. As much as I'd like to play host to Hanako and entertain her a bit, I do need to study as well. To be honest, I don't think the distraction from YUUKO helped either. Sorry if I'm a bit distracted. I need to try and get this done, otherwise I'm going to flunk the history exams pretty hard. I'm left running my hand through my hair in frustration. That letter needs doing as well, once I get back to the dorm rooms. What letter? Are we gonna write to Iwanako? I hope I have more luck with that than this. Damn. What are you talking about? Yeah, what with? Oh, I was gonna write to Iwanako. Right now, though, this is more important. All I've done is rattle myself. I can't focus on the work in front of me when my stomach is slowly turning at the prospect of actually attempting to write her back after all this time. I force myself to concentrate on the book, picking up my pen once I have a quick sip of coffee. After a few seconds, Hanako stops silently watching me and leans back in her seat, relaxing as much as she ever seems to be able to do, looking out the window to pass the time. We stay like this for a long time before leaving for the dormitories together. I'm surprised she had the patience to wait me out. Ah, she must be wondering what we're up to because we've been ignoring her. Well, not ignoring her, we just haven't been pestering her every 5 minutes. Iwanako's letter lies on my desk beside a blank sheet of lined paper and an unused envelope. The tapping of my pen is the only thing to be heard this late at night. As I feared, my second task for the day turns out to be just as difficult as the first, if not harder. Are we gonna say, we're over you, we've got a new girlfriend? It's been so many months since we even saw each other. Even so, I can still remember what she looked like, what she sounded like, what she acted like. By now, though, the little details are beginning to slip away. When I first saw her letter, I barely recognized her handwriting at all. Even the pink pen she always used was forgotten until her writing reminded me of it. I should be thinking about myself and about what I want to communicate to her. My mind can't stop concentrating on her, though, on the past we shared before it was taken away so suddenly. The bright and slightly garish decorations suit her sense of aesthetics. Picking up the letter to take a closer look at it, I give a long sigh. This is the last link binding me to my past. Iwanako didn't suddenly cease to exist when she left my hospital room for the last time, but I needed this letter to remind me of that. I had all those feelings neatly filed away. I felt as if I didn't need them, that I could just begin life completely anew. It was easier that way. In the end, I suppose that was a rather naive thing to think. Sooner or later, my past would have caught up with me one way or the other. But what am I supposed to say to her? Thank you for bringing me closure? All the letter did was end the sense of closure I'd previously felt. Try as I might, I can't write so much as a single word down on the paper in front of me. I can't even think of exactly what to say. Putting the letter down on top of the blank sheet, I gather the materials together and file them away in my drawer. The clunk the desk makes as it closes makes me momentarily tense in frustration. Oh my god, I'm getting frustrated with how frustrating he is. I'm not sure if I like Hisayo. I think the support characters, the girls, are what makes this game interesting because Hisayo is really grating on my nerves sometimes. But that makes sense because we're supposed to be falling in love with them, not him. Then I get up and grab a drink from the vending machine on the first floor. I tried, but I couldn't do it. After all the time that's passed, I still don't know how to deal with Iwanako. And we're going to leave that part-ru right there-ru. Yay! Okay, so not a lot happened. We just complained, but at least Hanako is feeling a little better now. That kind of puts us on the right track to keep moving forward. So, if you enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I shall see you in the next episode. Ja ne!